Pass a cheetah, yep, on a mic.
Alright. Press record, flow naturally, I'm riding a bike.
Alright. Send a DM to someone I like, come on, be a guest.
Alright. If it's just Chang and Denhoff, it's a yapping duet. That was crispy, Okay, welcome everyone to the newest episode of the Changhoff podcast with our lovely ghost, Nimbus. Welcome.
Thank you so much, Jacob. Appreciate you.
Yeah, of course. I appreciate you being here. Appreciate you coming through. We're AJ-less right now. Man is
unfortunately
sick.
Why AJ?
No. Why AJ? Why? But it's okay. It's okay. I hope you get better soon, bud.
I hope you do too. Much love.
And we'll just keep going with it. Okay, so Nimbus. Who is Nimbus? Why should people care about Nimbus?
So I mean, I'm an artist. I'm born and raised in Tampa, Florida. I feel like people should care about Nimbus because what Nimbus means is a saint cloud, and the clouds are always around us. So I mean, why not listen to the music form of that?
I love that. The clouds are all around us, so why not listen to the music form of all of that? I love that. Okay, so I know we were talking a little bit before we turned on the cameras and the mics and everything, but just explain to me a little bit again and to the people how you got into music.
So I got into music. I got into music when I was like a kid, pretty much. I mean, my first thing I ever played with was like a drum when I was like 4 years old. Music has always been around me since I was a kid. So my mom and my dad would always play like a lot of Spanish music and stuff, and that was kind of like my first introduction to like music in general and stuff. Probably don't got to stand that close to the mic, my bad. But
you're good. You can get it closer to yourself if you want, though.
Okay. But yeah, so like in general, like music was just always around me in my life. I mean, I even I did chorus when I was a kid. I played like drums when I was in elementary as well. And then leading up into middle school, I was in band for 2 years in high school. I learned a couple of different instruments and stuff, but so I would learn like the Spanish stuff in my mom's house, and then in my aunt's house with my older cousins and stuff. They put me on to a lot of hip hop. So like Lil Wayne was the first like kind of rapper that I looked at, and I was like, damn, like I saw the MTV music videos and stuff like at the time. I'll just be like, yo, that's such a cool thing. And ever since then, I kind of wanted to be like a music artist.
Mm.
Yeah.
So Lil Wayne was the inspiration at first for Tiny Nimbus. Okay, so what about now? Who inspires you? Where do you pull your inspiration from for your music currently?
I feel like one of the main influences when it comes to like making music, I have like a couple. So
get this closer.
Gotcha. Thank you. So I have a couple. Earl Sweatshirt was a huge like lyrical artist that really made me want to like up my pen game. Same thing with Absol. I think those two were definitely like really heavy influences for me. But then the person that made me want to become extremely versatile with all my different sounds and stuff, and like just experiment, which is my favorite artist right now, Bones. Bones is my favorite artist. Mm. Yeah, I've been listening to him since 2014. So,
wow.
Yeah.
10 years.
Yeah.
11 going into. Dang, that's crazy. Yeah. Okay, yeah, so a bunch of really good people to be inspired by. And I really enjoy how, like, you take inspiration from these people to, like, apply it to a certain thing that you're trying to do.
Yeah.
So how do you feel that importance is to learn from the masters and just, like, apply it into your own craft?
I feel like for me, it's just like I would listen to like certain artists, and I would just study the game, like I would just try to study like the pen game. I would try to study the flows, like and like how all that, how they did it at the time, and like how like people gravitated towards them. And I would just try to incorporate it in in my aesthetic, in my sound, and just like whenever I hear a song or like a beat or something, like I always feel like I know how I want it to go. It's almost like a thing where it's like a higher force that kind of helps me like I guess orchestrate it and like make it like sound just super in sync and like sonically wise it just kind of just incorporates itself into something special. So it was just really studying and just keeping on releasing music like throughout the years and just understand what I wanted. You know, even though like the music that I made back then, I feel like I don't look at it now and like listen to it as often, but like I'm appreciative of me like releasing the music because I wouldn't consider myself a perfectionist. Like I feel like I just kind of do what I do, and to me like I don't really think too heavy on it. Like I just like if it sounds really good to me, then I'm like, all right, I'll release this.
Yeah. And I think that's a good trait to have as an artist, because I know and have known so many people who are like extremely talented and they got bangers.
Yeah.
They got bangers in the vault, and they're just like, nah, it's not ready, it's not this, it's not that, like no more. But it's like yeah, like I get it, like it's your art, you want it to come out and be representative of like how you think it should be and how it should sound and how you would want people to interpret it. But at the end of the day, like if it never gets released, like all of that work is down the drain.
Exactly. And you know, I definitely I know like plenty of people that, you know, they're constantly working on their sound and like you know, and they want it to be as perfect as it can be, and like, you know, kudos to them too. Like, you know, I think perfectionists are great, but I just think sometimes if you're too much of a perfectionist, it can cut away from, you know, your progress. Because I feel like you know, I was never too self-conscious. I would just like kind of just like put what I feel on a track. And even though like, you know, it wasn't like, you know, at least sonically like, you know, the best or whatever, you know, when I was first starting out, I was at least still putting out content and I could learn from it. Like I actually had like, you know, visual representation and you know, sonic representation of like what my sound sounded like, what the engineering was like, you know. And honestly, I really think that people should just have they should be in tune with if they don't have an engineer, if they're really in tune with engineering their music. I think that is a big thing, because whether like if you have a good relationship with an engineer, or if you're an engineer yourself and you know how you want to sound, I think that's the best way that you'll be able to get that, you know, that final product easier. Because I've been through like a bunch of different engineers, and I have two specific ones I really go to now. And I think having those special relationships with those engineers, or like at least for me, because I can't really engineer my music at least right now. Like I have a good idea of how that works and stuff, but I still need to get more of that hands-on. So like I'm trying to I told you earlier, but I'm trying to invest in a MacBook so I can actually engineer my own shit. But like I said, I think you don't really got to think too much on it. I think if you have that good relationship, or if you know how to like, or if you have that ear and you want it to sound the way you want it to sound, like, it can really be nice, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. So let's go into your catalog a little bit, your discography. Take us through the journey of the music that you've released, and which album or which project or which song is your personal favorite at this moment.
Oof, that's a tough one. All right, first I'll get into the discography. So I've been making music since like 2017, and I've been releasing like, so like 2017 was the year where I really like released like my first 3 songs. 2018 I took a break from like really doing much, but I would just keep writing. 2019 is when I really started like doubling down and working on a couple of mixtapes. I worked on 2 mixtapes at that time. My first one was a very emotional, heavy project. It was like more of a dark one, and you could definitely tell like the influences were like kind of like I was wearing them on my sleeve at the time. But that album was like the first time I ever really worked on a project. It was like 11 songs. It was called Runaway to a Castle, and these are like only like SoundCloud exclusives. I actually have a bunch of stuff like on Spotify and like all streaming platforms, but like my first two mixtapes were kind of just like me just to put that music out there and just let it be heard, whether it was on SoundCloud or wherever, you know. But yeah, so that it was that one, and then I released a mixtape called Worthless, which was 16 songs, and then I started like dialing back on like trying to make like really long projects until like I knew what I was doing. So then I would just keep releasing singles in 2020 and 2021, and I think my first track that I ever released was a track on well, for all streaming platforms. Was in 2020, and I released a couple singles in 2020 and 2021. And then I released like my like an 8-song like mixtape slash like album called Chaos Reigns, and that was actually inspired off of a film.
What film?
Antichrist by Lars von Trier. Yeah, so it's because there was a fox, and like I remember just watching the film in my room, and I remember like the fox just like said in like a very ominous voice, "Chaos reigns." And so then I was like, yo, Chaos reigns.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's fire. Yeah. Write that down. Write that down.
Oh, God. Dude. So, like, you know, like that project, it was 8 songs, and it was a very dark vibe. Like, and it felt very, like, down south. Like, I feel like some of the production reminded me a lot of, like, old Space Ghost production.
Yeah.
And he's a legend in his own right, like a Florida legend, you know. Even though he got, like, you know, he's definitely like was on the decline for a little bit, but you know he's still a legend in my eyes. Like his production was amazing, and like it was like Space Ghost Purple and like Rob Banks and like inspirations kind of when I was working on that. Same, and maybe a little bit of like Weekend too, like old Weekend.
Yeah.
I was trying to incorporate like different things, but it was definitely very experimental. And then I didn't release like a full length album until like last year. But I released a couple EPs in 2023. Like I released, I think I released 2 EPs and like multiple singles. So I released like a 5-song EP titled Vagabond, and then a 3-song EP titled Paradise. And actually, the Paradise, like the self-titled track, would end up being on my album as well because I like it so much. But then I would release in 2024. I released an EP and then the album. So like I released an EP that was like throwaway songs that were gonna be on the album, but I kind of just put it. It was like a 4-track EP called Before the Arrival, and then 2000 The Dragon came out, and that was a 14-song album. So I've released a lot of music. I think on SoundCloud, like cause you can see my full catalog on SoundCloud, but I've released like at least like 90 something songs.
Dang. Yeah. Over the past few years.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Over 7 years, and then. I would say my favorite song right now, at least out of the ones that are released, has probably been either The Medicine or The Dragon. I think those are like my favorite songs right now.
Yeah, I do like The Dragon. Yeah. That one is one of my favorites of yours. Cool. Thanks.
I'm actually surprised that you listened to that. I was like, oh shit.
Yeah, of course. You know, you're Nimbus. We gotta know.
Nardwar shit, bro. Yo, hell yeah.
Yeah. Of course, you got to show love. Okay, cool. So, dang, I didn't realize that you had released so much music over the past 7 years too. Like when you say, "Oh yeah," like back in 2017, I'm like, "Ah, yeah, that was just a couple years ago."
You know, it's crazy because I just had this conversation with my homeboy yesterday. We were talking about how like, damn, like bro, fucking 2017 was like what, like 7 years ago, about to be 8. Like I'm like, what the fuck? This is fucking crazy.
It is crazy.
Yeah.
Life is just moving like way too fast now. Like the time, like where has the time gone?
But you know, like a part of me kind of feels like as long as you're doing something with your time, like, cause even like in 2024 for me felt like a full on year. Like, cause I was working on so much shit, you know, and like I was just constantly working, and I was always doing something. Like I wasn't really home. Like I would go home like to sleep if I wasn't working, or like if I wasn't making music, I'd just go home, sleep. And then I would just like, you know, like wake up, go to work, and then go to the studio, you know. Like it was just like I was trying to keep it a daily routine. but yeah, like as long as you do stuff with your time, I feel like a full on year can feel like a year. But if you're not doing much, sometimes it feels like it can go by fast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. It's like keeping yourself preoccupied and productive and doing something. And you can do that too. You can keep yourself preoccupied and productive and feel like you wasted an entire year. So it's like really just like doing those things that like really like bring joy to your life, or like things that you really love. And you know, for your case it's music. In my case it's like making podcasts, and I guess music is part of it too.
Well, yeah.
but okay, so I know that you're not only into music. You are also a film buff, anime, manga guy. Speak about a little bit about that. What about it do you like, and which ones have particularly inspired you?
So I feel like one all right. So one big one, actually, I can actually say this for like with full confidence. A huge influence in my life was definitely One Piece. I watched One Piece when I was like 12 years old, and just like Luffy's ideals, like as a main character, like you know, like him, and how he like does anything to pursue his dreams. Like that's me. That's how I feel like that. Cause like for me, it's like, you know, like what's life without a dream? You know what I'm saying? Like, or like at least finding one. You know, I've had multiple conversations with different people where like, you know, I just apply it to like real life. Like, you know, people might call it like delusion, but at the same time, bro, you got to be a little delusional. Like, in order for it to become reality, you got to just keep doing you and keep pushing, you know, what you want in life. I mean, if you think about it, like this is my first time ever doing like an interview, which I think is crazy, but like, you know, it just comes from like the fruits of the labor, like me constantly like, you know, working on shit and like talking to people and like, you know, networking in a way, I guess. But
yeah, and having good people around you too, who
Yeah,
like really support you and really want to see you succeed.
shouts out all my homies, Psycho Manto, Heaven Sent, Very Angry Lesbian, you know, Corazon, just a whole bunch of people that helped me become who I am, you know, like, and my homeboy Gene, you know, I got a lot of homies. I want to shout out everybody, but shout out everybody. I love y'all.
Shout out everybody.
I love y'all. But
shout out Jorge. He's sitting right off camera right now.
shout out Jorge. You know that
he's the one who made this all happen. He was the link up.
No, literally, dude. Like it's crazy. Like I'm really appreciative of Jorge, bro. Like I've known him since high school, and you know we've always believed in each other. You know what I'm saying? Like always, like we always like we bonded through a lot of shit, and you know we both grew as people as well. So you know, love that guy right there.
Yeah.
On God.
Very supportive of each other. Yeah, it's cool. Anyway, I just think it's funny how we're here now. And when I think about back to like when I met Jorge originally, it was like because we got hired at the place that we work at the same time, and we were in the same like orientation. So
that's so crazy.
Yeah,
it's like
no.
You know, there's so many full circle moments like that. Though.
For real.
Like it's kind of crazy because, like, for example, like, you know, kind of keeping it a little bit under wraps right now, but I'm working on a project with my homeboy. I've known him since high school, bro. And I remember when we were in class, we talked about how we wanted to work on a project together, and we've only worked on one song together. That's actually released, but that was like years ago. And then now, like, you know, like he lives in North Carolina now. Shout out my homeboy. Actually, he told me it's cool if I name drop him. So, but shout out my homeboy Flower Shop. That's his producer name.
That's a cool ass name.
Yeah. And so you know, we're working on a project now, and it's something very unique compared to all the other stuff I used to do. So, and I'm very excited. I already recorded like the first 2 songs. I already have like the first 4 written. It's gonna be 13 songs. That's all I'm gonna say. But yeah, it's really cool. Yeah,
Keep a lookout.
And it's
any
crazy.
idea for when that's gonna come out?
I want to release it in the spring. That's what we're trying to aim for. Yeah.
Cool.
Trying to release it in the spring, so then it's in like, you know, cause the album title, I'll even say it. Fuck it. Posted at the Flower Shop.
Posted at the Flower Shop. That's hard.
Yeah. So
I like that.
That's gonna be the name of the album, and like we wanted to release it in spring because that's like the time where you know, the flowers come to life, like and like the earth comes back to life.
Yeah.
You know, cause like winter is like the dead season. So we want to like release it in a time where like there's gonna be like sun, because the whole album is like good vibes.
Yeah.
You know? So that's the type of shit we're doing right now.
Yeah, so that seems like a good time to release it. Just like everyone's coming back from winter, spring, the sun is going to be out.
Yeah, bro,
flowers are going to be blooming. You want people to have a good time.
On God.
All right, cool. World exclusive. You heard it here first.
On God, you know? Exclusive shit here on the Chang podcast. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, going back to films.
Yeah.
You said One Piece was very inspirational for you because of Luffy and his ideals as a main character. What about some films?
So I can say I can actually name a couple directors that actually like I love. So David Lynch is one of my favorite directors. Like he directed one of my favorite shows of all time, Twin Peaks. I've seen that. I've rewatched that like at least like 8-9 times. Yeah, bro. Yeah. It's one of those shows where you could just watch. You could put it on and just watch it, and it's just so good. It's perfect for like the fall and the winter. But one of my favorite films that he's directed is Mulholland Drive. Inland Empire is a crazy one. Lost Highway, probably my favorite film. Either Lost Highway or Mulholland Drive. I think Mulholland Drive though is his magnum opus. But and then there's another director I really love. I forgot his last name, but Denis. He directed Dune Part 1, Dune Part 2. He's done Blade Runner 2049. And he's just done like those films in general, like Blade Runner and Blade Runner 2049 are some of my favorite films of all time. Another director that I really love is Wong Kar-wai. He's a Chinese director. He's made In the Mood for Love, Days of Being Wild, Chungking Express, Fallen Angels. Fallen Angels is one of my favorite films of all time. Trying to think of some other ones right now. David Fincher. David Fincher is really cool. He's made Zodiac, one of my favorites. Seven. Bong Joon-ho, Korean director. Parasite. He's directed Memories of Murder. That's one of my favorite films of all time too. He also has a movie coming out this year called Mickey 17. Excited for that. It has Robert Pattinson in it. And yeah, so I'm super excited for that shit. And yeah, no, I have a lot of favorites, to be honest. But there's also this Polish director, one of my favorite directors too, Krzysztof Kieslowski. He's made Double Life of Veronique, the Three Colors trilogy. And I love all those guys, you know. Like, and when it comes to film, like, film sometimes inspires me with my music. I mean, I said like I made a whole project based on that one scene, but I really wanted to take like people to like a dark descent of like madness, you know, and like that was the whole project. It's not, to me, I don't really listen to it as often. There's some songs I like from there that I listen to, but I felt like I was really tapped into like a different like type of dimension working on that project, just because of that one shot in the film. And yeah, I mean, that's like definitely one of my favorite films too. Antichrist is a very disturbing film. That was crazy. Yeah.
I can imagine.
Yeah.
I haven't really heard about it, but anything called Antichrist, I'm gonna assume is pretty disturbing. But like, I like that type of shit though.
Yeah. Same here. I mean, like, bro, like for me, like, I've seen like a lot of disturbing films, and for me, I don't know what gravitates me towards them. I guess it's just like, you know, like when you see like that type of shit, and then like you watch something that's like very like wholesome and beautiful. It's like you get two different dynamics. You get like the disturbing creativity of humanity, and you get like some of the happiness and like the beauty in humanity. Yeah. You know, so I like that duality. That's why I guess like when it comes to my music, like I have a bunch of dark stuff, and then I have a bunch of like stuff where it's like really good vibes, like make you feel good. I guess it's just that duality of like humanity, you know.
Yeah,
I think it's a very interesting thing.
For sure, because that's just like that's just a probably the central part about being human.
Yeah, is
that you have seasons of life. You have the good, you have the bad, and like there's some things in your life that are disturbing, and there's some things that are like so amazing.
Yeah,
and that's just how it is.
For sure, bro. Most def, like, and shit. I talked about plenty of films, but I want to talk about like some more like anime and manga stuff real quick. Another like huge story that like I feel like influenced me a lot was Berserk. I think that was my first ever manga that I read. So I remember watching the anime for the first time. It was like the 1997 anime. I remember watching that, like it was like 25 episodes, and I remember just the last couple episodes were so crazy. I was just like, dude, like how does this even continue, you know? And then I just started the manga from the beginning because I heard people say that like some stuff was cut from the anime. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna read it. And so I read it from beginning up until like where it caught up in. Rest in peace, Kentaro Miura. A fucking legend, bro. Like he made one of the best stories like ever, in my opinion. Berserk is really good. Another one that actually really inspired me a lot, and this is for different reasons, but Vinland Saga. Vinland Saga for me is also one of my favorites. Yeah. And I guess I could talk more about Vinland Saga and what that inspired me for. I just feel like Berserk kind of like amazed me. I think Guts, like his struggle, like in Berserk, I'm just gonna talk about Berserk real quick, but his struggle against like fate, I think is one of the like most beautiful things, because like struggling against something where, you know, because it's not even fate. It's like begging that question of like, do you have like, is this supposed to be your fate, or do you just keep going? You know what I'm saying? Keep going with like your goal. And like, you know, it's almost like it's almost like he lost his humanity, but he's like, you know, like gaining it again, like with the actual like interaction, like on his journey, he's been like, you know, befriending like people again and stuff, like because you know, Guts, he went through a lot as a kid. Then he found camaraderie, and then he lost it all, and then he started like, you know, like gaining it back slowly. And I think that's a very beautiful thing, and it just shows like struggling against that. But then for Vinland Saga's case, Thorfinn is one of my favorite main characters of all time. He is just one of those characters where you want to be better. You want to be like Thorfinn, you know? And for me, like it just helps me become a better person. Like I feel like Vinland Saga really helped me just change a lot when it comes to just like just growing and become better. You know, I feel like that's one of my favorite stories like ever when it comes to that type of stuff. But yeah, just wanted to talk about those.
Quick shout out
Yeah.
to Berserk and Vinland Saga.
Yeah.
No, I love that. That's a really great like interpretation of those main characters, just kind of the arc that they go through and the story that they go through, and how it's like, yeah, it's like you want to like kind of be like that.
Yeah, bro.
Because it's really fun to see a character that you like succeed, especially after going through hard stuff. I mean, that's like the central conflict of every story ever.
Yeah,
is that it's like, you know, you have a person, they go through something, and then they have some sort of journey to get somewhere else. But yeah, so yeah, that's really good. How do you feel like that applies to your life?
So I think like for me, it's really just like in Thorfinn's case, like because I feel like I relate more to him than I do Guts, because I feel like Guts, like his whole like concept is really cool, and like, you know, I've definitely struggled with stuff before, but like, you know, you just keep pressing on. I guess with Guts, it's more like having that mentality to keep pressing on no matter what you go through. But with Thorfinn, I feel like it resonates with me a lot more, just because, you know, I look at things in my day-to-day life, and, you know, like what I can do better for like my family, or, you know, being around my family more often, you know what I'm saying? Like actually having those introspective thoughts where, you know, I guess, my bad, that smoothie was hitting. Nah, but it's really just, you know, like in Thorfinn's case, like just always being there for like my friends. And when it comes to like conflict, I always try to just like talk to the person and shit first before like anything really crazy pops off. You know what I'm saying? Like try to get his perspective. Like I try to be like that person that kind of diffuses situations. Um, don't get me wrong. Like if there's ever a situation where shit gotta get hectic, I mean sometimes motherfuckers gotta get hectic. But at the end of the day, I try to like do my best to diffuse situations before that shit really even pops off like that. I never really get like serious about something or like angry unless if it's like for something serious, like if someone's threatening my family or my friends, or like someone's threatening like my life. You know what I'm saying? That's when you gotta really be on survival mode. And like you know but the huge foundation, like I feel like also like Thorfinn's dynamic with his father, I think that's also one of the things too that reminds me of my dynamic with my dad. I mean, my dad was like, I feel like he was a just a really great man, and I aspire to be like as hardworking as he was. And you know he passed away too, so I mean like a couple years ago. So for me, like I felt Thorfinn's pain in terms of like losing like a figure like that, and somebody that was very like familial. Like my dad always brought me to my aunts, to like my grandmas, like all that stuff, because he wanted to make sure that we had that foundation going. And like that we were aware that our blood is there, and that we could always like come to them for help or whatever, like like help them out. And so I try to be that way, like me and my brother as well, because and my sister too. Shouts out my sister. She actually she is up in Tallahassee now, studying for FSU and shit. But she wants me to come down there one of those days, because she also sings. She like she does singing shit. She's yeah, that's what she's studying for, like music and marketing and stuff. So it's dope. Like, and my dad, I think, was my number one supporter before anybody. I think he always told me that as long as I stick to what I'm doing, like like he sees me going somewhere and shit. So you know, I mentioned my father in my music a good amount. So yeah, I try to keep him alive. And I feel like Thorfinn's dynamic with his father kind of reminds me of that. So I guess that's how that applies.
That was beautiful.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing that.
Thank you, brother. Thank you for giving me the platform.
Of course. Let that breathe for a second. Okay. Where my mind goes to after that is, I don't know, when you were speaking about, it's like you like to kind of like moderate situations, like diffuse situations, but when things get hectic, it's time to get hectic. And I don't know why this connected in my brain like this, but it's like fighting for kind of survival as an artist in this area, let's say. How do you feel like you're getting along like in the local scene? Because I think Tampa is a really interesting place where I feel like even just a few years ago, people would say that it was very cliquey. It was very just kind of like not really a lot going on. So it was kind of like you were having to fight tooth and nail to just like make it in the scene. But I feel like a lot of people have just kind of like used the Tampa scene as to like get to a certain point and then migrate somewhere else, like go to New York or go to LA and continue their music career. So how do you feel like you're getting along in the music scene here, and where do you want to be a few years down the line?
So that's actually really good questions. So I think with the music scene, or just the art scene in Tampa and like St. Pete, I guess, as well, because I would implement both of those together in a way.
I agree.
But like, it's very diverse. That's first and foremost. It's very diverse, and there's like a whole bunch of people in the scene as well. But I do think like my place in the scene is, I don't really know. Like I don't really like involve myself too much with the scene. Like I really make music, and I have my people that are always around me and shit. Like, and I befriend certain artists, and then, like, you know, we just end up working on some shit. Because for me, like, what I like is I like that personal connection before I work on some stuff with, like, that person. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Like, because, you know, I just like, you know, because, like, for example, my homeboy Denzo, uh, my brother, like, that man, you know, we worked on some songs together. And we've known each other for a little bit already, you know. Like, that was, like, one of those guys, one of the first guys that I really, like, work with, like, featuring. Because I didn't really do much features. I felt, I guess, a part of that was, like, you know, self-conscious, or, like, you know, like, insecurity. Like, I just felt like, you know, I didn't really have, like, a place in the scene. I guess I just felt like I was, like, different. But, you know, there is people that I do know in the scene. Like, I'm more aware of, like, you know, the whole, like, indie alternative scene, if anything. Like, I listen to a lot of, like, indie alternative shit from, like, bands that I know around the area. Like, you know, and there's some rappers that I really rock with, like Sintel, for example.
Mhm.
That's my brother Sintel. Shouts out to Sintel. He has a song called Fearmonger. That's just fire as fuck. Um, and, you know, so, like, and then, like, also shouts out my homegirl Adriana. She got her whole band going on, Sure Thing. They're popping off in St. Pete area, and they do some shows in Tampa too. They're really cool,
Yeah.
really cool peoples. Like, I met Adriana. Like, she's actually a really, really good friend of mine. Like, she actually went to, like, my father's like, funeral and shit.
Mm.
Like, she actually put up, and, you know, just to support. And, you know, same thing with my homeboy Corazon. Like, you know, he's also an artist as well, and he's doing his thing. He's actually like, he be hosting like, shows and stuff. Like, he be trying to get, like, artists a platform to do
Mhm.
their thing. Also, shouts out my homeboy Devil Dog too. He stays out in Lakeland, but we're actually working on a song together. So, but yeah, no, like, I guess it's just, I feel like my placement, I don't really know where my placement is in this thing. Cause, like, you know, like you said, it's so, like, you know, separated, so diverse. There's definitely, like, cliques, I think. Like, there's definitely cliques. And, you know, I feel like people work with the same people. They don't really like branching out. And I hope that can eventually change, you know, because I think there is a lot of talent, and there's a lot of, like, good people, like, you know, that want to work on some shit with other people, you know what
Yeah.
I'm saying?
There's, like, an overwhelming consistent sound right now for, like, the Tampa scene.
Yeah, I mean,
Not everyone, but for, like, the most part. You know what I'm saying?
no, yeah, I just think, like, you know, I feel like people should stop being so cliquey in the scene. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think that kind of turns people away. Like, for example, for me, like, it kind of turns me away, because, like, I would rather, you know, like, just, like, if we end up really, like, connecting or something, like, let's work on some shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, we don't gotta make it weird, you know?
Yeah.
And, like, I don't know. I guess that's my stance on that. But, like, you know, where I see myself, well, actually, before I get to that, so when you said, like, you know, like, the Tampa scene, they kind of get people, like, they kind of, like, get to a certain point, and then they go to, like, New York or, like, California or something like that. You know, I respect people that do that. I mean, if you think about it, like, we had an artist, and I listen to him, like, all the time, 454.
Yeah.
He was in Orlando, and then he just went straight to New York, and he started popping off. You know, shouts out to him.
Yeah.
And
Shout out to Dochi. She did the same thing.
yeah, Dochi, yeah, dude, Dochi's fire too.
Yeah. Dochi is, like, the like, pinnacle for me when it comes at this moment right now. Is, like, Dochi is, like, the pinnacle for me of, like, what can happen from the talent here in Tampa.
Exactly. And you know what? So where I see myself, by the way, let me just get this out there. But what I would love to do is get some type of recognition and shit, and then, if I can, bring the community together. That's what I want to do. Cause, like, bro, like, if you think about it, for example, like, Florida almost feels like the counterpart to California. Like, cause we're literally, like, almost kind of, like, same placement in a way, but just in the opposite sides of the states.
Yeah.
So, like, California, for example, like, the Bay Area over there, you know, if you think about, like, Tampa Bay, you know, we got a Bay Area, but, like, our art scene isn't really as tight as the Bay Area over in San Francisco. Like, you know, that's why one of my favorite artists right now is Larry June. You know, like, he like, that hand-to-hand shit, like, that shit really, like, actually, you know, like, it's a beautiful thing, because when you're, like, you know, surrounded by your community, and you guys actually, like, you know, like, make events, or like do shit where your community can be involved, it's a very beautiful thing. And, like, that causes eyes being seen like on you, and also like you're doing something positive for your community. And like in San Francisco, they do that all the time. Like there's another cat out there that's like, he's very underground himself, but there's an artist by the name of Seiji Oda. I think he's a fire artist, bro. Like he's fire as fuck. And he's doing his thing. And then like like with the whole like LA fires that's going on right now, they're literally doing something today that's like a like kind of like a positive like thing for like the people that are going through a very rough time.
Yeah.
And like they're literally in like their communities and their fucking neighborhoods and shit, like giving out clothes, like all that stuff. It's like, dude, you don't see that in Tampa, And I feel like that's why I say it's kind of like counter opposites in a way, because we don't do much for our community. And as artists, I think that would be a beautiful thing for us to do, and like actually like get together. That's why like I really rock my homeboy Corazon. He's doing his thing because he's actually like creating a positive outlet for people to perform and stuff. And then also like people that don't got anything to do, they can literally go out there and have fun and listen to like music from like the local scene.
Yeah.
And so I just think like I wish more people were more involved with their community like that. I think community is a very important thing and it's a very strong thing. But yeah, and also like what you're doing, I think this is a beautiful thing for the community as well.
Thank you.
For sure, bro.
Yeah, it's always been the goal, and we started this podcast and especially started interviewing like artists and musicians more often than not, was that like, yeah, just giving people the platform to like talk about themselves, and just like for people to be able to like watch or listen to the podcast and be like, oh, like Nimbus is kind of cool. Oh, Johnny Champagne is kind of cool. Like getting to hear their story, like your story, I think is very important. And also like making the music is just fun, and we are gonna release it as a mixtape at the end of the season, and that's gonna be like it's just like it's just fun. For that shit. Yeah, I'm excited for it too. Yeah. It's fun, like it brings people together, exactly like you were saying, and I feel like that's what we've been just really trying to do with this Changhoff podcast. It's just like bring people together. Like my ultimate goal, and I think AJ shares the same sentiment, is that like people come onto the podcast, like you come onto the podcast, and like maybe you start working with like Johnny Champagne because it's like, oh, you were on the podcast too, like, oh, like I liked your episode, like I want to work with you, and then boom, like,
yeah, bro.
Like if like things can just like all of a sudden start spawning naturally just because of this like little connection with this podcast, like that'd be awesome. Like dreams come true for me.
Yeah, dude. And I think that's a very beautiful thing, bro. Like, shouts out to my homegirl Molly. I haven't talked to her in like a fat minute, but she actually did this like like a little project that she was doing with a whole bunch of different like like people, and it wasn't just like artists, it was like people. She was actually like interviewing just artists, and then she also interviewed like jewelers, what I'm saying, like shit like that. And it was it was really dope because then she compiled it all into like a video, and I have it on my IG, like I got it like pinned or something.
Mm-hmm.
But like it's just a small little like interview thing, but it was a really beautiful thing for the community. You know what I'm saying? I think shit like that. I love things like that, bro, because like it shed light. Like I met like another artist that I met through that. The Real AM is her Instagram. And I think I don't know if she stays out in Lakeland or something, but I always I was able to talk to her a little bit and just be like, yo, like like I chopped it up and said, yo, like we should work on some time or whatever. And she said that she was down and shit, but it was really cool. I mean, shit, you should even look into her. She's really dope artist. She like she does a lot of like singing shit.
Real AM.
Yeah, Real AM.
Okay.
Yeah, she's really cool. And shit, I mean, if you ever want to interview somebody, my homegirl Shannon too, she be doing a lot of video work and shit. I don't know if you know Chuchito, but I know he goes crazy with his video work. Like stuff like that. Like they're really dope people as well. They're really cool. But yeah, I'm trying to put on for the peoples,
Yeah.
Yeah, because for me it's not about like just me, you know what I'm saying? Like there's so many other artists that are doing their thing, and like I'm grateful and I'm humbled to be on this like interview, in this podcast, because like I was even looking into this before, like I told you before, but like I was looking into this even before like I went on the thing, because I wanted to like like get a feel for you guys and stuff. And like I was just like, yo, this is really cool, you know, like it's just a good vibe. People like, you know, they're just like being themselves and like doing their thing and shit. And I think that's a beautiful thing. Like I feel like we need more stuff like that in the community.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. Just like making connections with people and just like showing the person, because
Yeah.
it's so easy to just get lost in the things that you make, the things that you produce, especially for like the artists.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, oh yes, I'm here, this is my art, pay attention to the art, because that's what really matters. And to a certain degree it is, but like behind every piece of art is an artist
Yeah.
that is also just like us, just like a human being who has emotions and goes through things and has memories and friends, and you know. And I feel like really being able to like sit down with someone for an extended period of time and like have a conversation, which I think is even like different than like even just like getting together with a homeboy or someone and just like meeting up and just like having coffee and talking.
Yeah.
I think like a podcast is even just a little bit different than that, or the conversations go differently because like we're sitting here like very intentionally just like having a conversation, like getting to know each other. And I think that's it's something so special and so beautiful about it, and that's why like I continue to do this, because I love this right here.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I'm the same way, bro. Like, you know, like I don't really like get the chance to. Well, actually, I mean, not saying that I don't, but you know, obviously, you know, like with friends and stuff, you get into those like introspective conversations and
Mhm.
stuff like that. But like, you know, you don't normally ever really get the chance to like just sit down and get to know somebody and actually have conversations like this, you know. And like, at least in my case, no, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
I think it's a very beautiful thing, and like, and I'm glad that I got to meet you too, bro. Like, it's really cool.
And it's been a long time in the works too.
Yeah,
Like a long time in the works since like
yeah, bro.
like the very beginning or like the middle of last season, which was I don't even know, like
Like, a couple months ago.
yeah,
for sure.
it's
There was,
like 4 months ago. Yeah, 4 or 5 months ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's like at the time when I found out about you, Jorge linked us up together, right? It was like we were done, like we were booked up for the season.
Oh yeah,
Yeah. So like I'm glad that we were able to get you on this season, and I appreciate your patience and like even like waiting and like wanting to still be on.
Man, of course, bro. Like I don't be tripping on nothing. I'm telling you right now, like I got the patience of a damn statue. You know what I'm saying? Like a you know, the thinker, that motherfucker thinking here like the whole time. Yeah, you know, I have a lot of patience, and you know, for me, it's like I just didn't really think much of it until like, you know, like there was time because you told me January, so I was like, all right, I'll just hit him up around January. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
So
boom, here we are.
yeah, for sure.
Here we are.
Most definitely.
Awesome. Okay, I know we're heading towards the end of this. I like to start asking more like deep introspective questions towards the end of the podcast, if you don't mind. So, for you, what role does love play in your life?
Oof. Okay. That's actually a really good one. I think the role that love plays in my life, um, I've gotten like the good and the bad from it. You know, like I feel like I'm still learning to love properly. Like I think, you know, the strongest love, you know, that I feel like any kid can have is like the love of their mother and the love of their father. You know, like for me, I think familial love comes really easy for me because I'm a huge family person. Like I'm really big on family, and that's why I feel like I'm very protective over my friends. Like I really care about my friends. Like they're like my brothers and my sisters type shit.
Yeah, that's family.
Yeah, that's family. But I think relationship wise, it's a thing where I didn't have too much experience like at all with, you know. But I'm still learning like to love properly, and I feel like love has played a big role in my life in terms of like the music I used to make, and even when I get really emotional, like, you know, I'll make like an emotional like song, and I actually have a song on my project called Chain Down on my old project that I came out last year with 2000 the Dragon, produced by my homeboy Corazon. And that one was more like, you know, I remember like being in the studio with him, like we were working on that little song together with my other producer homeboy Ozzy the Sage. Shout out my homeboy. You know, we were all working on that song together, and I remember just like harmonizing and all that stuff. Like I think that song was really about like self-love and like not letting your mental get to you and things like that, because like I feel like I've had my fair share of mental battles, and I think like everybody kind of has those battles. So I wanted to make a song where like it would really inspire people.
Yeah.
AJ.
Guest cameo.
The
Whoa.
cameo, bro.
Yo. This is like in the sitcom TV shows where like someone walks in through the door and there's the applause.
What's going on, y'all? I was battling demons this morning.
Hey,
bro,
but you're here
But
now.
we're here.
Hey, bro, look, trust me, I feel you, bro. I had like 2 pills a day Quill today,
What's your name? Jorge. Good to meet you.
but like I had like 2 pills a day Quill too, bro. And like I had to like wake my ass up. Like I was like, dude, I feel sick right now. I gotta fucking. But nah, I was able to recover, so I'm chilling.
It was just comical. It was like feeling bad, but then I also had like the type of dream that makes you mad at your friends for no reason. And you have to remind yourself, like, wait, no, that's
Bro, okay, I'll finish this real quick. But basically, just the role that Loves plays in my life, I think it was just very like it was a mix of like the good and the bad. But I feel like even the bad helped me work on my artistry, like and then another labor of love for me is like a big role of love is music. I think music, obviously, like every time I'm in the studio, like that's a labor of love for me. That's the best form of love I can give, is like whenever I'm on the mic and whenever I'm like making a song and have people be able to feel that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like that's really all I want. I want people to feel my music and just feel that shit in their core, like feel that vibration.
Yeah.
That's it.
That was awesome. Thank you for sharing that.
Of course, bro. For sure.
Do you have any questions?
how you doing?
I'm doing good, brother. I hope you're doing good. I hope you're doing
man,
good.
yeah.
Yeah.
I was listening to 2000, The Dragon, on the way here.
Oh shit.
Little refresher.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah, I was wondering where that went, but
Yeah, bro.
yeah, it was cool. I feel like it puts you in a certain headspace.
Yeah, bro.
Feel like I'm in the clouds. I'm in the mountains.
Bro,
It's funny
I
because
was-
like you're talking about mountains and then you're talking about Florida, and I'm like, where in Florida?
yeah, I mainly like whenever I use like mountains, use it more of a metaphor.
It's more the feeling of a
Yeah,
mountain.
more the feeling. Like you're in a roller coaster, you're at the top,
But yeah,
and then you're going down.
yeah.
Yeah. But like that's cool. I'm glad that you were able to listen to some of that. Like I was actually listening to the while I was waiting and stuff, I was listening to the Changoff mixtape. Yeah, because I thought that was really cool. Like I was seeing you guys like, and I was talking to Jacob how like I think it's really dope that you guys work on a song with the people that you get on, because it's just a very beautiful thing. I think it's a really good thing for the community and stuff. Like I think it's really cool. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's been fun. I think it gives people a chance, especially somebody who hasn't done it before, or like maybe doesn't really know how to go about going to a studio or like working with, it kind of just makes it easy for somebody, and then they can see what it feels like or what it sounds like, and then go pursue it more if they want.
For sure.
But yeah, it's cool to just give people a platform to say what they're about and make a little song and
Just have fun.
yeah.
Yeah, bro. I think that's one of the coolest things too. Like I like when I just like cause the first interview I saw was the K Lion one, and so I was just like, yo, like they're making songs with with the people that they get on. I'm like, what the fuck? That's kind of crazy. Yeah, and like I saw some of the episodes and stuff, and I just think it was really cool. Like Jacob was telling me that you're more on the music side of things, so I thought that was really cool too. That do you play like any how many instruments do you play?
Mostly like piano and bass.
Okay.
And guitar, I guess.
That's dope. I have a guitar right now. I'm trying to learn how to play guitar.
Yeah. But yeah, it's cool. It's been cool for us too to just get to know more people. Like I think we're both pretty interested in the scene around here and meeting people. And sometimes you don't always get a chance to talk with somebody at a show, or like you try to get an interview, but then it's like you don't really have that much time to get into stuff. And
Yeah, I feel that.
so it's cool to get to know people. We kind of also found I feel like a good way to blend our skill sets,
Mm.
like doing the song and the interview and like the videos and then short
Yeah.
form.
Yeah. How did I actually was just curious about this, but how did you guys meet?
High school.
High school?
Yeah, freshman year of high school, we were in the same homeroom class.
Oh wow.
And yeah, so we were just like hanging out. We just became friends at school, and then, yeah, I don't know. After,
Just hit it off.
yeah, we just hit it off, and then after that, it eventually just kind of like we were like really into Casey Neistat,
Ooh.
and that was when he like had just started his like daily vlog that lasted like 700 days or something like
That's
that.
actually so sick.
And we were like,
So
what if we did that?
Yeah.
We could do that. So we did a daily vlog for like 50 days,
Dude.
like over the course of the summer.
Yeah, so we would just record like throughout the day, and then I'd go home and boot up Windows Movie Maker at 11 p.m.
Bro, that's
and just
actually
drag all the clips in there.
That's actually so fucking sick. Like, cause I was talking to Jacob about like how, you know, a lot of the people that I work with, like I've known since high school, and like it's like a really tight knit like thing where they always just send me beats, because a lot of my best friends are producers. It just kind of like so happened to be that way.
Yeah.
And I was a rapper, so it was just crazy because like they all just would like, sometimes I would actually like co-produce and like work with them on a beat or something. But like they would just always send me beats and just be like, yo, you should rap on this, you should rap on this, you should rap on this. Like they would just email me a bunch of beats, and I'll be like, all right, I can cook.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it was just really cool, and like I think that's honestly really cool that you guys have that connection.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, it's kind of crazy like how far we've come when we sit down and like really think about it, cuz like when we met all the way back in high school, now that's already like 10 years ago.
Oh yeah, that's yeah.
Yeah. And so the vlog, that daily vlog that we did is in March, I think, is coming up on the 10 year.
In May, 10 years since we did that first
10
vlog.
years since,
Wow.
yeah, so 10 years since
So-
like Changhoff. And also coming up this year is the 1 year of the podcast too.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, so
You guys should get like a birthday cake or something, you know?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's a good idea. Yeah,
Get like a birthday cake for like Changhoff.
Changhoff.
So we'll probably do this next listening party will be around the time of 1 year of the pod.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
So we'll
hell
kind of
yeah.
celebrate it with that. So whatever your song is, will be on there.
Yeah,
Dude, honestly, like let me know when that is, because I'll pull up.
You bet.
yeah, you better.
Yeah, I
You're
got
gonna
to.
be on it. You have to.
Yeah, I got to, bro. But
It's your listening party too.
Yeah.
yo, but so I wanted to tell you, because I remember bringing it up like way earlier before
Mhm.
we even set the cameras up. But I just wanted to let you guys know like my first ever song.
Mm.
So that I first like recorded.
Yeah,
and
yeah, yeah.
Actually put it out on SoundCloud.
Yeah.
So it was called Menace, right? And I actually, you know, it's crazy because if you listen to my music, like, and you pay attention, like, I do callbacks to a lot of different shit
Mm.
that I made. So, Menace, it was actually a remix off of a Madlib beat,
Mm.
and also one of my favorite rappers, MF Doom. You know, so like the all caps beat, like I rapped over that shit. That was my first ever song that I released.
You still have the
Yeah.
recording?
Yeah, I have it. It's on SoundCloud, but I just.
Oh.
I can't release it on all streaming because I feel like, you know, Madlib would probably
Yeah.
you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying, like he's already established all. He's like, the fuck is this guy doing? No, but you know, much love, Madlib. I don't know if you ever see this shit, but you know what I'm saying.
Oh, he watches. Yeah, he was actually the first subscriber.
Yeah,
He was watching the vlogs.
but yeah, like that was just a fun fact though. It was really cool. I was just like, damn, that's really cool. Fucking like looking back at it, I was like 17 and my voice was a little higher and shit at the time. I'm just like, damn, I'm over here spitting like a fucking, like I was a fucking proper MC or some shit. But yeah, bro, just yeah, I just thought that was a really cool thing.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, we have a segment now that you're here.
Yeah.
We can do it. We have these cards.
Oh shit.
These are just regular playing cards, but soon they will be Changhoff conversation playing cards.
We're in the testing phase.
Yeah. Essentially, what we do, right? We have this deck of cards. We shuffle it up. We spread it out. You pick 3 cards. Each card comes with a question.
Okay.
So you'll pull 3 cards. We'll read off all the questions, and then you get to decide who answers what question.
Oh shit. So all right. So I pulled the 3 cards,
Yep.
and I can only look at them, right?
Yeah.
No, I mean, we'll all figure out
Yeah,
what they are. It's
we'll all
not
know what
secret.
they are. It's not supposed to be secret.
Okay. Got you.
But yeah, so you'll pick 3 cards. We will read off what the questions are for each card.
Okay. And then I'll choose which one. You guys
Yeah.
choose? Okay.
And so then you pick the question that you want to answer, and then you can give us the other two questions, whoever you want to answer.
Okay. Hell yeah. Okay.
Okay.
I just thought.
Spread them out.
Okay.
Pick three. Pick
All
three.
right, your favorite three. Oh,
Oh damn. I just
Okay.
okay, 3 in a row.
I just
Okay.
got from the middle.
All right. Tell me one of them.
Okay, so the natural partner of good things to eat.
Oh no, that's unrelated.
Yeah. Oh,
That's
sorry.
not
Yeah. Just the name of the card, or like the
So
the
like
number.
Queen of what is it?
Oh, okay, so it's
Yes. Sorry, I didn't realize that
Yeah, no,
they
my
had
bad.
stuff on them already.
okay, Queen of I think it's spades.
Wait, let me see. Queen of okay, diamonds.
Yeah.
Queen of Diamonds.
Queen of diamonds. Queen of diamonds is what's your creative superpower? Okay, so let's do the other
What's
two.
what's the next two?
And then Ace of Diamonds.
Ace of diamonds. Ace of diamonds is what's your favorite thing you've ever made?
Okay.
Mhm.
And then Eight of Hearts.
Eight of hearts. Eight of hearts is if you could wake up tomorrow having gained any ability, what would it be?
Oh.
Okay, so you want the last one?
Yeah. that
Okay,
last
go
one.
for it. Go. For
Okay.
Okay, so and then it was about superpowers, right? What would it be?
Or those two would be.
it. So we would answer those.
Yeah, you
would
would-
answer that one.
Yeah. Okay, so I think if I were to have a superpower, it'd probably be to fly. Yeah, I think very simple. Or actually, no, never mind. I'll retract that. Teleportation.
Mm.
Teleportation would be sick because then you wouldn't have to go through all that whole process of going to the airport and shit. I could, if I want to go to Italy, I'll fucking pull up in Italy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess-
Teleportation is definitely the like better version of flight.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, because I mean, when you're flying, you know, like you might not be able to control it at first, or yada yada yada. You know,
Yeah.
maybe the same thing with teleportation too, but I think it might be a little easier. You know.
Yeah. It's like
Yeah.
you just save so much more time. Of course, unless you're someone who like loves the idea of flying or like wants to be a bird or something like that. Like then flying
No,
would be
you could,
cool.
Like, teleport into the sky. and then just-
Oh, wait.
Keep going back. up.
True. Wait, you're kind of cooking with that one.
Yo, my boy cooking.
Teleport up there with like a
Cooking.
paraglider, and just like woo.
Okay, yeah, that would be my answer. Teleportation.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
which one of us do you want to answer the other two?
Okay, so can you repeat the?
yeah, so I think it was your creative superpower, and what's your favorite thing you've ever made?
Okay,
Mm.
so what's your favorite thing you ever made?
Okay, my favorite thing I've ever made. What's my favorite thing I ever made? When I was in high school, I was playing a lot of jazz,
Oh hell
playing big band, playing combo stuff, and there was a period where I was writing. I was writing some jazz compositions, and at one point there was a local radio station that did a showcase of our school, and so I went with some friends and we played in a combo, and I got a chance to play some of my original stuff in a combo setting, and we played it on the radio station, and they had a real nice recording setup where I got decent recordings of it, and I think I'm proud of that. I'm proud of like, because at the time I was also like making beats on FL and you know like doing more like rap R&B stuff, but I think writing like a jazz composition and playing it in a setting and
That shit is different.
yeah, it was just a different, I don't know, and it's not as accessible to record that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like I didn't have a nice piano or like you know drum kits or mics or so getting to like really play instruments in a live setting and getting recordings of that, and I still have the recordings now. You know, I just ripped it from the YouTube video and put it up. So
That's actually so sick.
yeah, I like those songs.
Hell yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that
There's one
actually.
called Flameo.
Oh wait, I think I do know
Yeah, you
Flameo.
can listen to Flameo later. It's
Yeah.
cool. It's cool. I like the bass line.
Shit, I want to listen.
There's one called Flameo and one called Lily Pad.
Lily Pad sounds
that we
hard
did
as
that
fuck.
day, yeah.
Wait, I think I do remember these songs.
Yeah, you've heard them for sure.
Yeah.
You've heard
Oh, but I didn't know that was how they came about.
yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, that's where the recordings are. Like the recordings on my SoundCloud are from that radio show. We were
Oh,
like there at WMNF. We played it.
that's awesome.
But yeah, thanks. Thanks.
That is really cool.
Yeah, maybe I should do more of that. It's been a while.
Bro, hey, you know what? It's never too late to get tapped in, bro. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
Yeah,
To get
yeah.
locked into something. Like, and especially if you have some background on that, bro. I mean, shit, why not? You know?
Yeah.
In jazz too, it's interesting because like people are always playing the same 10 songs.
Yeah.
Like it's not really a thing to play that many originals,
But you know, I think
but it's fun.
I think jazz is probably one of my favorite genres. I sometimes I go back and just listen to some 1960s like jazz tunes and shit. There's not really any that I remember like off the top, but like I would play like I have like a Spotify playlist or something that just plays like a lot of jazz. And yeah, bro, jazz is just it's a really beautiful thing. It's great sounds, very relaxing.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Sip your coffee while you listen to some jazz.
Oh
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah, bro.
All right, so Jacob, I think your question is,
Yeah.
what's your creative superpower?
Yeah.
Ooh, what is my creative superpower? Man, that's a good one. Okay, well, if I think about it, I'd say probably like my creative skill that I'm the best at is video editing. But I wouldn't call that my creative superpower. Probably if I had to say like what my creative superpower is or what I believe it is or maybe what I want it to be.
Yeah, if you could wake up with any creative superpower.
Then it's probably like being able to turn my really, really big, ambitious ideas into reality. I say that is probably my creative superpower because, like, this was all a dream at one point, and now we're here.
Yeah, bro.
And I'm pretty proud of that.
Dude, that's beautiful, bro, because I feel like I can relate, you know? Like, it was always just a dream, and then you kind of just make that into reality. That's great.
So I'd say, like, that's probably my creative superpower is I have really big, ambitious goals, and it's not just me. Like, I also have a great team, and I have great people and support around me to, like, help bring these things to reality. But at some point, when I am by myself and I think about it, like, it really just is up to me. Like, what I do with my life is really up to me, and I feel like I have enough of a track record, like, for my own personal self, like, the evidence is there that, like, I can really bring shit to life. And, like, these ideas that I have, like, it may take years to get them to the place where, like, I see them in my head originally, but yeah, being able to, like, turn my really big, ambitious, like, creative dreams into reality is probably my superpower.
Hell yeah. I love that answer.
Thank you.
Yeah. I love both of you guys' answers.
Yeah, I love your answer, too.
Thank you, bro.
Yeah. Yeah, never gonna be easy. But we're here. Yeah.
Oh God, bro.
I think your creative superpower is. I guess I don't know if it's a creative superpower, but I think, you got like a really admirable stubbornness. You have an idea and you're like, I'm gonna do this. And then somebody around you might be like, oh, but you can't do that, or you can't, and you're like, well, I'm gonna do this.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
And like, to some extent, you can talk about why the details don't work out, or why this or why that, but like, that's what gets you there is just having that. Like, I remember there was one time where you were like, I'm gonna be an F1 driver, and I was like, oh, okay, like, what do you mean? And you're like, yeah, I'm gonna be an F1 driver. Like, I'm gonna get really good, and then I'll be an F1. I was like, okay.
That's actually so sick.
Still in the works.
That's the thing, though. Like, it doesn't matter. I mean, it doesn't matter how realistic something. Like, but if that's what gives you the energy to keep pushing towards the thing you want, you know.
Yeah.
Like, if you want to have the biggest podcast in the world. Maybe we're not actually going to get there, but, like, what's going to drive you if not the goal of something bigger?
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's true.
And, at the end of the day, it's like, I feel like it's not really a matter of if or, like, when. Or it's not a matter of if, but it's, like, a matter of when. If you keep going, I feel like that's – because, like, I think one of the biggest things – and I'm a huge, like, advocate for, like, following your dreams. I'm really big on that. Like, I tell my peoples, and I tell them, don't ever give up. Like, if you really want to do something, don't give up. Because I feel like people say that, like, when you get, like, people that say, like, when they're over 50 and they were like, oh, yeah, I was in a band and, like, things didn't really work out or, like, I wanted to take it off big, but, like, it was a bunch of years and nothing was happening. It's like shit might take 10 years, bro,
Yeah.
But like shit might take 10, like 12 years, but you gotta keep going because when you already have that foundation built and all that, like whatever you're doing with your craft, and like when you're getting better and better at it, it's like if you start doubting yourself, I feel like that's when things don't end up going the way it's supposed to be. And I think like in a way, and I heavily respect the stubbornness because, I mean, sometimes, bro, you like I said it like before, but like you got to be a little delusional, you know, like in order to make your dreams reality.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the payoff doesn't come at the end.
Yeah,
Like the payoff.
This is the payoff.
all
Yeah.
along the way. Like,
Yeah.
it's the journey, bro.
all along the
Exactly.
way, the little things and the I mean, it's so, the friends you made along the.
It wasn't the ending.
But like
it was the
doing
friends we
doing
made along the way.
interviews, what has been a cool thing because there's a couple times where we lose the footage and I'm like, oh, but really I don't care because you had a good conversation, like you got connected to somebody.
I
Like
feel that
that's
for sure.
the value.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it pays to be a little delusional.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
I think, but because for me too, it's like, you know, when you study the game and you study like a lot of like in my case, for example, a lot of rappers, I feel like a lot of the time, you know, they even say it themselves, like yo, I was delusional. I feel like I was like delusional at one point, but I had to be delusional. Like if you think about like the journey that like I'm going back to like Larry June or like a Suicide Boys, for example, like those guys, you know, it took them years to get to where they are. Like Larry June, now, like just like in like 2019, he started blowing up, and he was making music since like 2011, 2012. And like 2019 is when he really started like actually getting some recognition. But now, like, you know, like just like 2022 probably is when he started really like getting like popularity. And same thing with Suicide Boys, you know, they didn't really start blowing up and becoming like the biggest independent artists in the world up until like, you know, 10 or like 11 years down the line.
Yeah.
And they've been making music even before that.
Yeah.
So
And they make a lot of music too.
that's what I'm saying. So it's like
Yeah.
for me, it's really just a journey, bro. And like it's just you, like, you know, like for me, it's like to stay humble and to like keep, you know, like doing you, and like keep like pushing with the people that are supporting you, and like, you know, the people that are like, you know, like in my case producing like beats and stuff constantly for me and shit. Like it's just like it's all there for a reason, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm there, like I can't just like, you know, like waste the efforts. Like I have to like do my thing and, you know, keep going. And like and yeah, like I started like at 15 probably when I started writing stuff, and then like making music around 17, and I'm 24, but I feel like I've only just gotten better with time, you know.
Yeah.
So like you just got to keep going and see how far you take this shit, you know.
Yeah.
You mentioned Larry June too. I saw this Larry June clip one time where he was saying he raps for 3 hours every day.
Yeah, I know exactly the video you're talking
He's
about.
like, and it's not that much. Like people work way longer than that.
Yeah,
All I gotta
bro.
do is 3 hours, but you do it every day for whatever you said since 2011.
Yeah, bro. I mean, if
Yeah.
you think about, like, when I go to the studio, for example, I can push out like 4 or 5 songs in like 2 hours.
Yeah.
Like, cause I rehearse my shit super quick. Like I rehearse like constantly, like the songs that I want to take to the studio. And, like
Mhm.
I'll take those specific songs, and then I'll think about certain elements that I want to add. But like I usually do them in like 1 or 2 takes, and then I just start adding my ad libs. I start layering it and whatever, and like it just comes out really quick. And then I get it sent back to me, and then, you know, right there, like, you know, if I do like 5 songs in like 3 hours or 2 hours, like that's already an EP.
Yeah.
You know, like, and
It gives you a lot to work with.
exactly.
And also just like the quick turnaround time, I think is really important too, because it's really easy to get like lost in the weeds of something when it's like when it takes forever for it to like really come together and get done.
Exactly. Like I think like I feel like one thing about me is I like whenever I'm in the studio, like I don't mess around at all. Like I'm always like in tune with the creativity. Like I might chop it up with my engineer for a little bit, and then we just get to work. You know, like, and I'm always like, you know, that's just always my mentality when I walk in. It's just like, this is the stuff that I want to take serious with the rest of my life, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So like I just go in there and I lock in, and I make the music. I get in the vibrations, bro. We play that shit back. I smoke a joint, and I fucking, you know, bob my head to that shit. And then whenever it's ready to be released, I'll release it. And I hope people, you know, like at least use it, like listen to it, like whatever they want to do with it. I just put the music out for people, like, you know, to feel it. That's
Yeah.
pretty much it.
That's awesome.
Yeah, bro.
Real professional at work here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I appreciate it, bro. Yeah,
Yeah.
I feel like people should start rehearsing this shit more often, because I feel like it's cool when you're making a song in the studio and like it's actually like a song that like you're, you know, actually like making in that point in time. Like it's
Mhm.
cool to do that. Like and I do that too sometimes when it comes to like if I hear a beat in the studio or something, it's just like, yo, like we should work on this, you know, and then I'll write something up. But it's like a lot of the time, like I'll just listen to the beats that are sent to me, and then like I listen to them. And like sometimes I'll write outside. Like I really like writing outside, especially when the sun's out. Like it really like is really nice. I'll be in my backyard. I'll just like start writing, and you know, you feel the wind, feel the sun rays, like all that stuff. It gets you in the right vibration. Sometimes I'll make a little coffee in the morning, or like I'll make myself a nice little tea, and then like I'll just like sit outside and just let the creativity flow. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And sometimes it's nice being inside too. My bad.
No, you're good. You're good. We had yesterday we did an episode with Johnny Champagne, and he was talking about how like throughout the process of his past album, he would be working on something and go perform a song at a show and like that version better, and then go and retrack it, and just kind of how the songs could evolve with the performance.
It's
and
actually
just,
a really
just
cool.
rehearsing them, but
That's a cool creative process.
yeah.
Yeah, that was really interesting to hear, because it is so true that it's like songs really get a new life when they're being performed live.
For sure. For
Yeah.
sure.
And you, yeah, and you get that experience of seeing how a crowd receives it, like, because I think about in comedy, like you don't know if something is good until you do it in front of a crowd.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Because if nobody laughs, it's not a good joke.
Yeah.
So, like,
You know what's crazy? Like I feel like the best way, like, all right, so this is just like me kind of talking about comedy, I guess, but like I feel like the best form of like modern comedy is just being yourself in front of like people. Like I feel like that like if you're naturally funny, that shit is so funny to me.
yeah.
Like
Yeah.
bro, like I have like somebody at work, like one of my coworkers, that motherfucker is so damn funny, bro. And it's just like it's a natural funny, you know?
Yeah.
And like I'm that same way too. Like I make motherfuckers laugh because I'm a natural funny guy. Like I don't really like if I try to like, you know, like plan ahead or something, I feel like the jokes aren't gonna land, you know? I have to like say some shit like just out of nowhere. Motherfuckers just laugh. I just think that shit's funny as hell.
But yeah, like same thing with music. You really don't know how something sounds until you see a crowd respond to it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Or I mean, and it's fine to do it on your own, but it does give you that extra feedback
No, for
For
sure.
sure.
to try something a couple different ways and see what people resonate with.
Yeah, I think like one of the best examples of that for in my case, I remember I did like my album release party for 2000 The Dragon, and he was there too. Jorge was there, but I performed Paradise, and I was like I jumped in the crowd, like I was on the stage, but then I just jumped in the crowd and I started like jumping with everybody. I was like sit on the ground, stare at the sky, I'm seeing the stars tonight, like that shit, bro. Everybody was fucking going crazy with that shit, bro.
That's sick.
That's awesome.
Yeah, bro. It was dope. I love that intimate shit though. Like I feel like, and I think one of the main reasons why I like getting into the crowd instead of being on the stage, is probably because like I just love it. Like, cause I mean shit. Like I be in the mosh pit too. Like whenever I listen to some music, or like if I'm like at a live show, like I'm in the crowd. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes I like being in the background, but like most of the time I'm like in there. And I guess when you're performing that while you're in the crowd, you know what I'm saying, you're the one that's performing, so it's like people can feel that intimacy, you know what I'm saying? I think it's
Yeah.
really cool. And I feel like I probably won't stop doing that. Like I'll probably still like even like if I'm performing like with a crowd of like 1,000 people or some shit, I'm probably just gonna jump in that bitch and fucking perform.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like you know, that's what they're there for. They're there for a really fun time, you know. So like you wanna be able to give that to them, like people that like listen to any of your shit. Like anybody that listens to my shit, bro, I'm fucking grateful. Like I'm like
Mhm.
I just like I love you, bro. I love you, dog. Like that ass. Like you listen to my shit, bro. I love you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. It really is truly like humbling, and gives me a lot of gratitude when people are like, "Oh yeah, I listened to the podcast. I was good," or like anything, or it's like, "Oh yeah, the mixtape was cool." I'm like,
Yeah.
"Really? You listened to it? No
Yeah.
way!" Like it just blows my mind every single time.
Like I said, bro, that changing one, I'm definitely
Yeah.
like with Leah, I'm gonna be cruising around to that shit for
Yeah.
sure. Like I love that one. And then I think it was Water.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that one's fucking smooth, bruh.
Water.
Yeah, bro. Yo, BY, I think, bro. Hit me up.
Yeah.
Yo, hit him up.
Yeah.
I'm gonna hit you
Don't
up.
even wait. Just hit
Yeah,
him.
Yeah.
I'm gonna hit you up.
When you want that next tattoo, VY. Hit up VY.
I got you, VY. I got you.
I love that aspect too, where like somebody like you can listen to the tape and like hear all these people and know that like they're around, they're doing
That
stuff.
ass, bro.
Like
That's actually so cool, and that's what I'm talking about. Like I was talking about with Jacob earlier about community and shit. It's just really like, bro, like the fact that y'all have this platform and like people that I haven't even heard of. You know what I'm saying? Like they're fire, they're doing their thing, and I'm like, bro, what? Like, bro, I can hit this person up, like.
it's like the
Yeah.
phone book.
Yeah, you
It's
know
like
what
the
I'm
yellow pages. You just like go through the mixtape. It's like, oh, I want to make a song with them.
Bro, dead ass, dude.
Yeah.
It's so sick. And you know, like I said, the whole music aspect of it, like the fact that you guys make a song with the people that you put on is very beautiful thing. I think that's super, super cool.
Thank you. Thank you.
Of course.
It's been fun. It
Yeah.
was an idea, and then now it's a thing. So
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
it's cool.
It just happened. It just happened. And it's been great. I feel like in terms of enjoyment on our end and the enjoyment for the guests too, it just like makes it such a full experience that it's just been like worth it on every level.
Yeah, for sure. No, yeah. That's best way to describe it, honestly. It's so cool. Like I said, I fuck with it.
And now it's your turn.
Yeah, bro.
Now it's your turn.
I'm excited for this shit.
Thank you, Nimbus, for coming on to the podcast. Thank you for everyone for watching and listening. Where is there anything that you want to say to the people before we sign off?
First off, thank you so much, AJ and Jacob, for letting me on. You know what I'm saying? Thank you, Jorge, for telling Jacob about me. You know, I'm very, very appreciative. You know what I'm saying? Born and raised from Tampa, you know. Any artist that wants to work or some shit, like, if you ever want to, you know, befriend a guy, let me know. You know, I'm down for that. And also, very appreciative of the people that do listen to my shit and the people that, you know, found me from this. I'm very appreciative of all of y'all. And yeah, bro, I just want the best for the community and shit. Definitely keep that positive vibes going, you know. We need more of that shit.
And where can people find you? What's your Instagram? Spell it out.
So my Instagram is Lil Jerry Shouty 47. So Shouty is the SHAWTY. Jerry is GJERRY, and then 47. The 47 is for King Capital. Rest in peace, Capital Steez, one of my favorite rappers. But and then my Twitter, I think it's Jerry the Mouse V3. That was actually my first rap name. I forgot to tell y'all that.
Jerry the Mouse.
Jerry the Mouse V3. And then I think that's
Spotify.
Oh, my Spotify is Nimbus, but it's all caps NIMBU, and then the S is a $. So Nimbus. And you can find me there. You can find all my music there and shit. Same thing on SoundCloud. Yeah, if you want to listen to all the old shit that I made.
First ever song.
Yeah.
All caps freestyle.
Yeah, all caps freestyle remix. Yeah, I mean, thank you very much for tuning in, and appreciate y'all. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Chang Hoff on everything. That's AJ. I'm Jacob. Peace. Bow, 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 bow.